In 2001, Netease was cornered. Its stock had crashed to just 48 cents, leaving the company with a valuation of only $20 million, down from $500 million at its peak. Survival looked impossible. Fast forward 2 decades and Netease now generates over $11 billion annually from games alone. But to understand how Netease reached such a critical turning point, we first need to look back at its earliest days, when everything began in a small rented room. In the late 1990s, the internet in China grew from an unfamiliar idea to something that changed every day. During this time, William Ding stood out. Ding was born in 1971 in Finghua, Zhejiang province. As a child, he liked building transistor radios and showed early interest in technology. After gaining his degree in telecommunications engineering from the Chengdu Institute of Radio Engineering in 1993, he joined the Ningbo Telecom. He later worked for Sybase in Guangzhou. Even though these jobs were steady, Ding wanted more. He saw the internet as something that could change China, so he left his job to follow a new idea. In 1997, Ding founded Netease in Guangzhou. His main idea was to offer free email to everyone. At that time, most people in China still used fax machines or wrote letters by hand. Not many people used the internet, and free emails were rare. Ding realized that charging for email would make it harder for people to use, so he made it free. This helped more people see why the internet mattered. This choice worked well. By 1998, Netease was getting 2,000 new email accounts each day. Many people started using the internet for the first time. For them, free web email was not just a new tool, it showed what the internet could do. Building user trust was important. Most early users were young and educated, but they were careful. Some worried about safety and if online services worked well. Ding made Netease's website easy to use. He added features like personal web page hosting. These changes encouraged people to visit the site and try out new online activities. Netease soon became one of the top 3 internet portals in China, with Sina and Sohu. Each company wanted to add new features to attract more users. Netease was quick to launch online auctions and one of the first practical search engines in Chinese. These steps helped Netease serve people who did not read English, and more users joined. By 2000, Netease was known outside China. In June, Netease was listed on Nasdaq and raised $67.5 million. This showed that Chinese internet companies could enter world markets. Netease kept growing, adding things like SMS and online gaming. But things started to change. The internet boom of the late 1990s brought new risks. Market pressure grew, and the global tech industry became uncertain. In the early 2000s, many tech companies faced big problems. The dot-com bubble burst, and Netease's stock dropped from $500 million to just $20 million. Its share price fell to 48 cents and trading was stopped. There was a real risk that Netease would be taken off Nasdaq. Years of progress seemed to disappear quickly. A new problem followed soon after. In September 2001, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission said Netease had reported its finances incorrectly. This brought more attention to the company and to William Ding, who now faced questions from both investors and regulators. People lost confidence, and the company felt more exposed than ever. Ding acted fast. He hired a new chief financial officer with strong experience in U.S. accounting standards. Ding also worked with auditors and restated Netease's financial reports to make everything clear. He told shareholders that openness was the best way forward. These actions aimed to win back some trust. These changes helped with the rules, but Netease still had major business problems. The crash showed that relying on advertising for income was risky. When companies stopped buying ads, Netease lost much of its revenue. Ding realized the company needed a new plan. He started focusing on online gaming. The choice was risky. At that time, online gaming in China was small and not well known. Most games came from other countries or served only small groups of players. No one knew if a Chinese company could succeed by making its own games. Still, Ding saw gaming as a way to keep users interested for longer. The move into gaming was more than just a way to survive. It was an effort to build a new future for Netease. Netease started online gaming in 2001, not from a strong position. The company was still recovering from the dot-com crash. The team learned how to run online games and manage a growing group of players. This early lesson showed Netease that gaming could bring stability that ads and web portals couldn't. By 2003, Netease made a key decision. Instead of only using games from other countries or making small changes to existing ones, Netease decided to create a new game designed for Chinese players. The result was Fantasy Westward Journey, an online role-playing game inspired by a famous Chinese story, Journey to the West. This game was different. Instead of copying foreign ideas, it used Chinese culture in its stories, characters, and humor. Making Fantasy Westward Journey was a big risk for Netease. The company built an in-house team focused on good gameplay and quality, not quick profits. Netease also saw that internet speeds in China were uneven, and many people played on older computers or at internet cafes. The team made sure the game worked well under these conditions. Thanks to these choices and the focus on Chinese tradition, the game stood out. The response was great. Fantasy Westward Journey quickly got millions of players and became China's top online role-playing game within a year. It was more than a popular game. It changed Netease's finances. By the end of 2003, Netease reported a net profit of $39 million. The company went from struggling to leading the new online gaming industry in China. The success of Fantasy Westward Journey showed that moving away from advertising was the right choice. Players enjoyed the game's world, found a sense of community, and kept coming back for new content. Netease listened to player feedback and updated the game often. The company also invested in customer support and anti-cheat tools, and it added in-game events tied to local holidays. As Netease grew, its plan was clear: create in-house games, stay close to users, and aim for steady engagement rather than quick wins. This strategy guided Netease in a changing market, but there were always new challenges ahead. In 2023, Netease faced new challenges. After 14 years, it lost the rights to publish Blizzard games like World of Warcraft and Overwatch in China. The end of this partnership was the result of disagreements over money and left a gap in Netease's lineup. For a long time, these games had given Netease reliable income and recognition. Losing them made the company rethink its reliance on partners and pushed it to focus on its own games. Netease responded by moving more resources and developing its own titles and international publishing. The change was necessary. In 2023, Netease's revenue reached $103.5 billion. These results showed that the company could move forward by building homegrown franchises and using artificial intelligence to support game development. The aim was to reduce the risk of depending on outside companies. At the same time, Netease had to deal with problems inside the company. In September 2023, it began anti-corruption checks that found fake contracts worth about 1 billion yuan. As a result, 9 staff members, including 2 senior executives, were dismissed. Netease shared the news, sent compliance reminders to staff, and added ethical guidelines to company systems. These actions were meant to win back trust from investors and employees, but they also highlighted the need for better controls. The company's anti-corruption steps marked a bigger change in how it managed risk and company rules. Netease saw that trust from investors required not just profits, but clear and honest business practices. New pressure also came from outside. In early 2024, Prytania Media filed a $900 million lawsuit against Netease, saying Netease's actions led to Prytania's studio shutting down. Netease denied all claims and said it would defend itself. The lawsuit brought more attention to Netease's global activities and raised questions about its international business. Amid these challenges, Netease began to reset its business strategy. From late 2024 to 2025, it closed more than a dozen overseas studios and stopped projects that were not performing well. The focus shifted to domestic games with better returns. This was partly because the global game industry slowed down and big-budget games became more expensive. The company aimed to spend carefully and focus on making fewer, more successful games. This change was a shift in direction, not a retreat. NetEase increased its investment in artificial intelligence to improve both efficiency and creative work in game design. Company leaders saw AI as a way to compete more strongly and rely less on outside ideas. For William Ding, AI helps push creative limits and makes games more engaging for players. NetEase focuses on building its own AI tools instead of buying from others or working with outside partners. In-house AI speeds up game development and improves player experiences. Teams can quickly test new ideas, try out game mechanics, and draft storylines. This shortens production time and allows for more creative experiments. NetEase can respond faster to what players want. New games like Blood Message and Once Human show how this strategy works. Blood Message uses AI to build storylines that change with player choices. Each playthrough is different. Once Human creates a post-apocalyptic world with AI-generated environments and stories. This helps the game feel more detailed and fresh than what traditional design alone could do.
It's another, I think it's a Chinese studio that's making this game. It's by NetEase. Ever since really Black Myth Wukong was the proof positive that a Eastern studio could make a video game and have it sell in a Western audience, hit a AAA audience, and make literally hundreds of millions of dollars.
For NetEase, AI is not just about technology. William Ding sees it as a long-term commitment. Ding is also active in philanthropy. He's donated to education, offered free public health courses, and supported national AI efforts. For him, technology should help society, not just the company. NetEase works in other fields too. Its music streaming service NetEase Cloud Music and education platform UDAO both use AI to improve user experience. Applying technology across many areas helps NetEase handle market changes and find new ways to grow. The company aims to create entertainment that changes with each user, offering dynamic storytelling and unique experiences. The goal is to make each product feel personal and up to date. William Ding's direction is clear. Keep quality high, invest in the future, and use technology to make real improvements.